Hi everyone, this is Caroline Speaks, the State of Our World on Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. So what is it? Well, nothing's changed that much. The coronavirus is still with us, and its number of cases has grown to 2.7 million, 50,000 cases a day in some places. Not good. And states that opened too soon, seeing a surge in some counties because of irresponsible behavior, such as not practicing social distancing, not wearing a mask. So that'd be a lesson to you. And the deaths are approaching 130,000 from this virus. So, if you want to protect you and everyone else, you have to practice social distancing, stay 6 feet away from anyone, wherever you are, wear a mask whenever you're out in public, and make sure, by contacting your legislators, local, state, and federal, that every healthcare worker has personal protective equipment, all first-line responders, essential workers have personal protective equipment, which is masks, face shields, gowns, shoe coverings, gloves, etc. Make sure there are enough ventilated respirators at all healthcare centers. And make sure all vulnerable populations are protected, which includes veterans in veterans' homes, people in assisted living homes, people in nursing homes, people in retirement homes, and the homeless. There's been an effort all over the country to use hotel rooms to house the homeless. I'm not sure exactly how that's going. And then people in detention centers, migrant detention centers, they're packed in like sardines. That's not good. Have to get them to a more spacious place. Otherwise, the disease will spread like wildfire. Other vulnerable populations are people in prisons and jails because they live so closely together, farm workers, migrant workers who travel closely with other workers from job site to job site, people in detention centers, they're seeking asylum. So there are all kinds of vulnerable people. Then we have people who are protesting police violence and brutality against people of color. Ever since George Floyd was murdered by a Minnesota law enforcement officer, those protests are still going on, but they're outside, so those people are practicing social distancing to some extent, and they're wearing masks, so that's not a problem. But we can't have people in sporting events or in concerts or in churches, because you put all these people together, and that's a disaster waiting to happen of people getting the virus. So, you know what you have to do to protect yourself and protect others, and wearing a mask is a sign that you care about other people, not just yourself. And so you have to wear a mask to protect everyone. Now, the President, Trump, he refuses to wear a mask in public. I don't know. And if he had been wearing a mask in public from the very beginning when this started, it would have saved a lot of lives, because his followers would say, he set a good example, he's wearing a mask, so I'll wear a mask. But that's not happening. The Vice President Pence is wearing a mask now, probably due to pressure. So let's see what we can do to protect each other, protect ourselves. And we have some other issues going on. About 40 million people have lost their jobs due to the virus. And people are losing their unemployment insurance benefits, so there's an effort in Congress to extend that. And that's, things we have to work on. We have to make sure people have the money they need for food and rent, etc. And you should only go out when you have to, like to go to the grocery store, to go to the drugstore, to go to the doctor. Otherwise, just stay in and keep busy. If you have electricity, you have television, you have internet, you have radio, of course you have your phone, you're all set. So stop complaining Be happy you don't have the illness. Be happy that you do have a home of some kind. Now, as the virus climbs, we do need more testing. We need good tests. We need a national effort, someone leading it at the national level to keep track of who's doing what. Some states have been doing this on their own. They're doing a good job, and some states have not been doing this until they're pushed to do it, pressured to do it. So, have to test everybody. Someone tests positive for the virus, trace their contacts, and the contacts test positive, trace their contacts, and so on. Everyone who has the virus, treat them, isolate them, quarantine them, so that they can't spread it. That's what we have to do. That hasn't changed. The people are protesting police violence, police brutality. They definitely have the right to do that. And they have a right to protest, they have to speak, and to protest. They do not have the right to destroy someone's property. But it's hard to make that argument when the people in charge, government officials, they don't respect anyone's rights or property. They're not law-abiding. So anyway, there's a lot of things going on. We'll keep monitoring the situation with the virus, number of cases. People have passed away from the virus. That's approaching 130,000 now, number of cases, about 2.7 million, I believe. That's a lot of people. All this could have been avoided if Trump had acknowledged the existence of the virus when it first hit our shores in Seattle and then on the East Coast. But he didn't. I remember there was a cruise ship that wanted to get all their people off, and he said no, because that'll increase the numbers, more cases, bad for the stock market, bad for his bank account. So anyway, they say the virus appeared probably in October 2019 in China, and no one paid much attention, because once the virus exists, it's going to get to where you are. Trump did ban travel from China, but he did that too late, and by that time a lot of people had already arrived here. He did not ban travel from Europe until he had no choice, but he didn't ban travel from the British Isles. So, very inconsistent method he has, very strange. And now we have this new situation where Russia is being accused of paying people a bounty or financial rewards for killing American soldiers and also other coalition soldiers like British soldiers. And Trump apparently got a briefing on this back in February, and he's, well, even earlier, and he's, I say sometime in 2019, he said he didn't know anything about that. And yet his officials say they did tell him. They told him verbally. They also put it in a written report for him. But he's protecting Putin, the head of Russia, for some reason. And now Putin has apparently won an election that allowed him to stay in office for another 16 years. Isn't that lovely? So anyway, that's the way it is. I think we have to be careful and take care of each other. And voting is very important. We have an election coming up in November for all kinds of officials, from the president all the way down, members of Congress, members of the Senate, members of state officials, local officials, everything. It's very important to go out there and vote. Make sure you're registered. If you're not registered, go register and pay attention, learn about all the candidates and issues, and vote. If you have absentee voting, ballot voting available in your area, they'll mail you a ballot. Take part in that so you don't have to take a chance on getting sick by going out and voting. Voting is very important. Okay, now that's a lot of stuff. Maybe it's time that we have a little song. What do you think? Alright, let's give it a try. Alright, I have a song I'd like to sing for you, a song I wrote a while ago. It's about my Aunt Charlotte. And here we go. My aunt took care of my brother and I when my mom had to go to work. She also had a son to raise at the time, and she took care of all three. We all lived in New York City, my mom and us and my aunt and her family. We spent a lot of time together. I remember it well. I did not appreciate her all the time because I was just a kid. But now when I look back upon those times and the later years, I know I had a great aunt. Now I wish she were here with me, but I know that cannot be, so I'll go on with my story. She loved to be busy and have a good time, but she always thought of her family. She always put her family first, and then she could not take care of herself. Then came the day when my mom and I moved to California. My aunt was upset that we were leaving, but we said we would see them often. My mom and my aunt would talk on the telephone every Sunday morn. Sometimes I would talk as well, and we saw them as much as we could. My aunt always talked about her family, her son, his wife, and then her grandkids. My mom would listen and talk about hers, and the years went by. She had what it takes to be a good mom, but she always thought of her family. She always put her family first, and then she could not take care of herself. Okay, I hope you like that. That's about my Aunt Charlotte. And thanks for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you back here again tomorrow evening. And remember, take care of yourself, take care of others. And remember, kindness goes a long way. Kindness goes a very long way. And that's it for this evening. Caroline Speaks, the State of Our World, on Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Good night.